Peace, family. QI Critical Thinking is in the building. All right. Well, shout out to everybody who's in the chat, and shout out to all of the people in the sky. Shout out to everybody who's supporting today. Um, like recently, like I realized something that I felt like I needed to address. Um, I felt like I needed to speak up because pretty much like after things happened, like after what happened, like between me and VS, when I came over here to this channel, basically I came over here because I wanted people to see who I was, outside of Tscc, outside of just VS. I wanted people to get to know me for me, not me for being, like in a group. And I'm not saying that, like I had any problem or anything with, the group. It's just that like I provide my own content. I've been on YouTube way before I came into this sector. I was a part of the conscious community. I've been on many panels. I never like took YouTube was a hobby and it was an outlet for me. I never like really like took it seriously enough to want to, be a content creator. Although I had a channel, Black Conscious Fraud Committee, BCFC, I had a channel, with over 1,000 subscribers. And all I used to do pretty much was like upload videos. And it basically the same thing that I do here. It was dealing with politics, spirituality, things, different knowledge, different research and different resources and different things that I came across and that I learned. A lot of times I would listen to the people in the conscious community and, something would trigger or cross my mind and, I would go research it. And then, I would come out, with my perspective or, something that I might have learned from it. That's all I did. But it was just a hobby, like I took it seriously. The thing that I took serious was like being on here helping people, because the way I looked at it, it's like you're able to reach a large amount of people at one time versus me. I'm foot on the ground. Like a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I actually do or have done. Like I helped save the bus system in Baton Rouge. I was being groomed to be a part of I can't think of the word right now, but I was being groomed for positions in politics. And a lot of the politicians and stuff, like they know me. I like even here, like I know a lot of the politicians. I speak with a lot of the politicians. When there are issues, go speak to the politicians. I'm sending the politicians an email. In fact, our mayor here in Jackson, I know his father. His father was also a mayor, and I went to school, somewhat close to him. So my cousin is a congressman, from Mississippi. So I mean, like I've always been involved in, things that, make a difference or they count. On my job, I facilitate groups. So a part of my job, like I wear many hats because I'm a contract employee, which means that like I'm trained for certain positions. I'm trained for multiple positions. And whenever like there's a need for somebody to fulfill that position, like if I'm available, if I want to do it, I can do it. But I don't have to, just go in every day and clock in or anything like that. I just have to stay up on my, up on my training, up on my uh, cl- um, qualifications, and I'm good. Okay. So I facilitate groups. And one of the things that, like I tell you, I'm an advocate for child sexual abuse. Even in the groups, I noticed that like it was a lot of people that, a lot of, women and stuff that would come up to me because I would share my story. I'm a victim of child sexual abuse. And a lot of them would come up to me and they would say, well, I've also been abused, or I also, and one of the things I also noticed that they didn't have any specific groups designed for that. Most of the groups were groups where people would not feel comfortable sharing intimate details like that. So I advocated to start a specific group, or specific groups or specific therapy, um, um, surrounded by people of child sexual abuse, because that's something that you never get over in life. It's like you can learn how to cope, you can learn how to manage, but like there are a lot of different little things like triggers, like post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of little things come with that. So, and helping people to get past those things, a lot of times is, better if hearing it from another person who's been through it as well, and how to learn how to, recognize your triggers and get past your triggers. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, and I was also part of the Kanika Jenkins situation. I was on Fact Check TV, and she's still over there. She has her own nonprofit, where like Centoria Brown and different cases and stuff that we feel like have not been, um, we felt like have not been looked into properly. We would like do all the research and stuff, and we would point out that we would send emails and letters to different people to try to get the case looked at a different way, and to point out like the misconceptions that we found. And that's what we were doing with the Kanika Jenkins situation. We were trying to, get them to reopen the case under a different jurisdiction, or like get the FBI to investigate the case just based on the fact that it was improperly investigated. Not like we were trying to solve the crime. We were just trying to show that this case was not properly investigated, and trying to get it passed on to someone who could have properly investigated it, so that it could have been solved. So I've always been a part. I've always done, like the things that I do on my channel. I've always been about that. And so when I came over here now, like when you're with the group, I mean, of course, just like for instance, being a part of Fact Check TV, I had to assimilate to Fact Check TV's system. Just like, a lot of times when I've like been on other people's panel, I sort of have to assimilate to their system. So I never like could just, do my own thing. So when I came over here, it was just about, okay, well now, like now let me focus on my channel. Let me focus on the things that, like I really care about, I'm really passionate about, and I really want to do. And one of the things that, like the reason why I started the L panel was because of all the stereotypes and misconceptions that I saw people saying primarily about me. But, also, like I saw how a lot of people had misconceptions about, the lesbians. And so I wanted to start a lesbian panel, just centered around that, where we could clear up a lot of misconceptions, and we could, like sort of, show people like how it is in real life. It's not a box. Nothing fits into a box. It's not a box, or nothing fits into a box. And in a lot of ways, it's similar to heterosexuality, but then in some ways it differs. And, a lot of people think, okay, well, stud, there's no such thing as a touch me not stud. There's no such thing, because it's like if if you're in a relationship with a woman, I can, and if I'm in this, like, if you're in a relationship with a feminine woman, and that's something that that feminine woman enjoys doing, I mean, you're gonna compromise. You know, when you're in a relationship, it's about compromise. So if they enjoy doing it, then you're going to do, you know, like you're gonna do it. This wasn't my, you know, first time, but you know, people were like, "Oh, you're not a stud because of that." No, I don't prefer. I don't enjoy it. And not to say anything about Via's skills or nothing. This has nothing to do with her skills. It's like I didn't enjoy it then. Like the times before when it came down to other, you know, partners that I've had, I didn't enjoy it. I was doing it because they wanted to do it and because they enjoyed it and because it's a part of the compromise. Just like likewise, if it's something that I like to do, then you know, if you have the accurate type of mate, then they're going to also compromise to please you. You know, so that's how that go. Okay. So I want to clear up. I see a lot of like different misconceptions and stuff. And one of my clients, online clients, graphic clients, we had to communicate. And while we were communicating, they were like, uh, you're nothing like, you know, your peer I see on YouTube. And I was like, what, you know, first I was stumbled, but then I thought about it. Like there's so many different narratives and there are so many different things going around, and most of it is not true. Or and then the parts that are not that are true, a lot of that is exaggerated. A lot of that is exaggerated. Like for instance, I've never had a child. Y'all know I'm a 24-hour, 7-day a week caregiver for my grandmother. So I'm not getting it like that. So like there's no way that I can have a womb or you know of a JJ big enough for a fist. There's no way. There's no way I can have a vajayjay big enough for a fist. So for people to actually be repeating that, like I didn't come out and try to clear it up. I didn't come because I thought that, you know, your common sense would kick in and you would know that that's inaccurate. You know, I'm not saying that there are no women out there with a womb that with a, you know, vajayjay that big, but you have most certainly have got to have had a bunch of children to have a vajayjay that big. You have had to have a bunch of children, or you've had to, you know, just been very active, you know, to have a vajayjay that big. So, okay. And then there's something else that I want. Clearing up some stuff that I, you know, because I, you know, it's like I wouldn't think that I would have to, but it's like I'm going to, because like it's just gonna come from me. Let me put it this way. Okay, yeah, I told like when I first started going live, I never locked my door. I close it. Okay, and my grandma has a habit of walking in. And she'll just start talking. So, you know, like I told VS, I said I barricaded with a wooden object, you know, to keep my grandma from just being able to bust in. Like when she could still come in, even with this barricade, but it just it alerts me and lets me know that she's trying to come in where I can mute, where she wouldn't be able to bust in and cause my dog to bark, or she wouldn't just be able to bust in and just start talking. It'll give me a chance to mute. But this is what I use. My uncle, well, he's, you know, no longer with us, but you know, like this room that I'm in, it was his room. Okay. And this is what he used to, you know, as a door stopper. He made this, you know, and it's been here. So I use this. I just slide it under the door. Now you can still, I have carpet on the floor, so you can still push the door open, but you know, it just gives it some time or whatever. But look, not a stick, and it's just a door jam. And the door is never locked or anything like that. And let me tell you something as well. My grandmother is like my sister. My grandma's like my mama slash grandmother, because I'm the oldest grandchild she has. So my grandmother, you know, raised me in a lot of ways. Me and my grandmother like are best friends. I like for I tell people all the time she's my best friend. I've always been able to talk to my grandma about anything. All right. Now, my aunt that passed, She's like my sister that just recently passed. She's just like my sister slash aunt because my mother was younger when she had me. She wasn't like she was like last year of high school when she had me. She was young. So my aunt, I grew up with my uncle who's no longer with us. Um and he was like my brother slash uncle. My mom was like my mom slash sister. That's just the type of relationship we have. And so if my grandmother heard, I told somebody this, I replied to somebody this the other day. If my grandmother even knew that people were online saying that I abuse her, or that, like I'm trying to kill her or something for some insurance money, or um, what is some other stuff that, oh, like I only feed her ice cream. Let me tell you something. First of all, my grandmother gets up. I have to fill my grandma's pill boxes. But my grandma get up every morning and she takes her own medicine. My grandma fixes her own breakfast. My grandmother, she can cook. She cooked for Thanksgiving, cakes, pies. My grandmother, she cleans up. I mean, my grandma is functional. It's like I question her having dementia, and I still do. And one of the people, AMR people, emergency people who had to come here one time said that she, like she has the dementia that she needs to have for her age. What's going on with my grandmother is not the dementia. It's mostly that, she's angry and she has like emotional issues and stuff like that, and confusion and stuff from losing 3 out of 4 of her children. 3 out of 4 of her children. So my decision to move, was not, it's because like when I came here, like it was after my aunt passed, and I never decided to, it's like I still had my house. So I wasn't, like it wasn't a permanent thing. It was like I'm gonna come stay, make sure she gets over, the little grief, stay for a month or two, make sure she, gets past the little grief and go and is back to her normal routine. I'll go home. And things start to decline. And as they started to decline, I had to deal with them. She went into the hospital, had to go into the hospital, like, and then after the hospital, we had to go through physical therapy. Then after the physical therapy, it was something else, and it just started to decline. So it's hard enough, like, so I never planned, for this to be permanent. And like it's 24 hours 7 days a week, and I do have other family members who can help assist or can do this. So it's like, I'm going to move in a different state, so like I can take 2-3 months to do it, and they have to step up to the plate and do it, because as long as I'm here, as long as I'm local or whatever, I know that the responsibility will be placed on me because I'm the most responsible one. I'm like more responsible. They run from. I'm not saying they can't do it. They run from the responsibility. All right, so like a lot of those things are not true. And for people to, like, somebody came in my a thing the other day, and they were saying all those ugly things, and I'm just like, come on now, come on. I have other family members. If I was mean or anything to my grandmother, like I would have to answer to that. My grandma has to see doctors. She talks very well. Like the only reason I haven't brought my grandmother on camera is because you all are childish. Not all of you. Let me watch how I say that. Some of you all are very childish, and some of you all do not know how to act. And I've seen how, like, other, some people have brought their family members on, and other people's family members have been treated. So, I'm like, no, I'm not willing to do that. I don't want to, put my grandmother in, or my family in that kind of situation. I'm very protective of my family. So I don't want to put them on. And I'm very proud. Like, I believe that it's certain things that, shouldn't be discussed online. And it's certain things that should be kept private amongst, whoever it deals with. Like even having a disagreement with somebody that, I collaborate with on YouTube. If there's a disagreement, I don't believe that it should be brought out in public. I think that it should be handled behind the scenes, because when things are brought out into the public, there are so many other people that are putting so much negativity on stuff that, just pretty much to cause a divide or whatever, that, those two people or you and that person will never get to resolve it. So, like I believe that if you want to resolve, the more people that you keep, just like if you're in a relationship, if you get your family involved in your relationship, you're going to have issues. And 9 times out of 10, your relationship is not going to last. So it's better to keep your relationship between y'all, unless you have to tell your family something, unless it's something very necessary. Because other than that, like if you let your family and stuff all involved and be all involved in your relationship, it's just not going to work. And that goes the same with your friends. If you allow your friends and different things to be all involved in your relationship, then it's not going to work. And sometimes your friends don't want you in a relationship, or even your family don't want you in a relationship because they really want your time and your attention for themselves. It's like an act of selfishness. So, like it's a lot of things that, I haven't been willing to come on here and discuss. And it's a lot of things that I could have debunked. It's a lot of things that I could have debunked easily. But I don't believe in doing tit for tat. Like I don't believe in, the back and forth arguing, especially online. Like, let me tell you something. Let me clear this up too. um VS told me that she had ran a background check on me, right? Like this was like a little after, like we first met or whatever. And I was cool with it because I don't have anything to hide. So she brought up something about, Texas or whatever. And I remember this thing about Texas because when I worked at a corporate job and they do like 10, 15-year background checks, extensive background checks. And I remember that, like and they email you the results. They email you the results. I mean, not email you, they mail you a package with the results of your background check. So and one of the hangups for me getting one of my jobs, was something that somebody has the same name as me, and same name as me, and they I guess that was the domestic violence or whatever. And pretty much, like they checked into it and they found that our information did not line up. They have the same name as me, but that's not me. I've never lived in Texas. I've never lived in Texas. So, that's not me. And I've never gone to jail for domestic violence. I've never beat, I've had fights with people. I've fought. I've had fights with people. But I've, like, in terms of any relationship that I've ever been in, I've never put my hands on a woman. I will leave. I told you that's why I always like to have my own place. Because even in an argument, if it gets too heated, I will leave, before I allow it to escalate. Because sometimes you'll say and you'll do things in the heat of anger that you don't mean. So I rather leave, let everybody, we go calm down, and then we discuss it when we were level headed. And that, and that's how I always been. Because I saved my mother from a domestic violence situation. So I don't believe in domestic violence at all, and I've always advocated against it. So, that, like, I don't know who that was that they found or who, whatever, but that wasn't me. I've never, been to jail for no 30 days for no domestic violence. Never. That's not me. Okay. And so I want to clear that up. And it's a bunch of little things I'm getting to. Okay, so, and my like I said, my grandma cooked for herself. Now my grandma, she's addicted to certain things. She has her little pleasures, like ice cream. If she doesn't have ice cream in the house, it's like, I'm out of ice cream, and she, like, will almost cut up if she doesn't have ice cream or some sweets. So, like, I keep ice cream and sweets in the house because I don't want her to, cut up. She'll try to act like everything, oh, it's okay, I done ran out of ice cream. But then, like, she'll get to the point where she just start cutting up. And I don't even like her eating the ice cream like that. But it's like, like, if that's what, at her age, she's healthy. For her age, she's healthy. She gets around, like, well, for her age. And, she doesn't have any major health issues. I mean, like, she has a heart monitor, and, like, basically, like, her mind or whatever, that's all. But, for her age, she does very well, and she gets around very well, and she looks very well for her age. So, my grandmother's not like what y'all think. Like, she could come on here right now and start telling y'all some stories after stories, and y'all gonna laugh, talking about ex-boyfriends of hers and all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all will see what I'm saying. She's not what y'all think she is, but I don't want to bring her on you because y'all are, and then y'all take something and run with it. Like, I see how y'all take stuff and just run with it and escalate it, and it's childish. It's childish. And see, that's what I mean as well. Like, you have to watch what you say to people, because whereas something may not bother you, it might bother the next person. Whereas you're saying something and you think it doesn't bother you. Just like, for instance, I have dermatitis and it's clearing up. And it's clearing up. Like, when I went to DC, my allergies was all over the place. My eyes were swollen, and I, was flared up because I was flared up because I didn't know it. But see, well, I do know that I'm allergic to like a lot of dust allergens, and see, it's clearing up. It's dried up, and now all we have is like a little bit of the hyperpigmentation, and like cocoa butter, some camphor, and the medicine and stuff that I get from my dermatologist is gonna help with that as well. But um, um, it's clearing up a lot because I learned my allergies. Like, I had been begging my dermatologist to give me an allergy test, and she never would. So it was like she was giving me stuff to treat it on the outside, but wasn't giving me anything to treat it on the inside. And so once I learned, once I got the medicine to treat it on the inside, as well as I learned my allergens, it's like now it's under control. Now, and I was going to do a stream about that, like I'm like a before and a after. So I'm glad I showed y'all that, because it's clearing up. But once it really clears, because my skin clears, marks don't stay. Once, like these dark marks and stuff, don't hyperpigmentation don't stay on me long. It generally just my skin will go ahead and blend on back in. So, once it clear, and I've had beautiful skin. My skin, this just started happening within the last 3 to 5 years. And before then, I had beautiful skin. So, I can't wait. And it did bother me. But, I'm saying what bothered me even more was, like, I go over to Lipstick Alley and somebody over there, first of all, I didn't have nothing to do with the situation that just happened at the IHOP at all. Like, in fact, when it happened, I was late, and I had to get my information from bits and pieces. And, let me tell you, when I heard about it, I felt, like, I felt guilty in some kind of way, because, like, if I had been there, I would have stopped that situation from happening. I would have jumped. If I had to jump in front of VS and let her just fight me, that's just would have been what happened. But I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have. And then I don't blame VS for that. I think, I don't think VS is at fault for that. I don't think VS is at fault for that at all. At all. So, but like, I use Lipstick Alley for like a TV guide. It's like a lot of, I don't be online all the time all day, and I don't, I try to support people who support me, like most of my subscribers or whatever. When they go live, I try to go in their lives as often as possible and show them some support. And I try, so I try to, show support in return. And then I also have people outside the sector that I support. So, I'm not always, and then I'm not always online. I have a lot of responsibilities. So, I'll go to Lipstick Alley or whatever to see what's went on. And, like, it's like never failed. A lot of times I've been over here on my own channel, doing my own thing, not bothering anybody, not getting into the mess, just pretty much being, like focusing on, like my content and, the direction that I want to take this channel. And I go over to Lipstick Alley, and it's like it never fails. It's like my name is always being pulled up into something. It's like this situation had nothing to do with me. And then somebody, Male E 5150, is in there talking, this had to do with QI and her scabies self. And so I'm looking. So, like most of the people who subscribe to me, they know that, I addressed her, and I addressed her for that reason, because it's like, Like, if I'm not bothering you, I'm not bothering anybody. I don't mind you talking about something. I don't mind a little light roast or name calling, but like, stop trying to pull me into the drama. Stop trying to instigate. Stop trying to blame me for something that I didn't have nothing to do with. You know, and so that bothered me. It's like, how I don't have, like, don't pull, because what happens is somebody will read that, somebody gonna take that for a fact, and then like, then instead of them using their sense, they're gonna come back and react off of that. And then especially like somebody from Tscc or VS, over there, they will react off of that when I haven't done anything. Okay. And that's where, like, okay, y'all, I don't hit below the belt. When I come back at somebody, I know how to defend myself. I know how to, I've defended other people, but I try not to hit below the belt. Now, there's only one person I hit below the belt, and, and I do owe that person an apology just for going below the belt. But there was a method to my madness when I did it. It's because Brianna, she always brings up my name. She's always saying, and I used to support Brianna. And I've never, like, like, I never, like, had no ill feelings or anything. I just thought she was young. And so, like, it just never fails. Brianna's always bringing up my name. She's screenshotting, stuff and trying to change the narrative on things. Just like, recently I was like, I was like, VS, still cares, and stuff for me, because it was about Dark and Lovely. I support Dark and Lovely because she started her page and she supports me, so I support her in return. And she's a lesbian. All right. So, I'm over there, and, Dark and Lovely was talking about the situation that happened on Brianna's channel where she called me a leprechaun. And she was like, I was just bringing you up. Dark and Lovely was just explaining why she brought me up. And shit. So, I was like, yeah, I know you were trying to get next to her, because that, she still, sort of cares for me. And then loves and care for me. And then, and I was like, like the Kiki situation, I was like, I didn't understand why, because that's not VS. VS would not do that. She's not, meet no strange people. So I don't understand, like, me knowing her, I don't understand, like, what she was thinking to go to the IHOP in the first place. I don't understand, because that's not something that I know her to do. She's very, cautious about a lot of things. So, I was like, so I'm sitting there, and then, I'm looking at, the Kiki thing, and I'm like, VS ain't gonna, I mean, not to say, she can't be attracted to her or wouldn't be attracted to her, but she wouldn't move that fast. She wouldn't move that fast. And so I was like, maybe, I don't know. I hope she wasn't using her to make me jealous or nothing. So I made that statement. Brianna screenshot it. But it was more about me thinking. It wasn't more, they turned that around into a whole different narrative. And so that's, like when I came over here, like I said, it's to create my own identity, my own identity, my own person. The reason why, like when VS was trying to say, like I was on my period, the only reason why I brought up, so you went down on me on my period, was to point out to her that, I wasn't on my period. I wasn't on my period. And then you got people running out around here, and I thought that maybe she would be like, oh yeah, okay. No, but instead she just sitting there and she just going with it. She is going with it enough to agree that she would eat bloody cooch, and she didn't. So that wasn't true. I wasn't on my period. I didn't have no blood or nothing on no drawers, and I showed y'all the underwear that bled, the maroon underwear that bled. They were brand new. They were next to, like, and I kept my underwear in a separate compartment, my t-shirts, and with white stuff. I had some white and some color, and those were brand new, and the dye or whatever bled onto the my other stuff. Because I was glad I washed them while I was at the hotel, but I didn't know it until, like, I went to reach, like, for something. But I'm not even sure that they even saw that. They, like I'm saying, They could have seen some, the emblem from the Fruit of the Looms or something and thought that that was that. But then my point was, why didn't you pull me to the side and say, because anybody can have an accident. I haven't had an accident in, in a long time. But, I'm just saying, like at any point, anybody can, have an accident. And see, I've always been taught, or I think that, when you see somebody and they've had an accident, you're supposed to pull them to the side and say you've had an accident, not judge them for that, not think that they're nasty or anything, especially women, because like, just like for instance, like when we were in school and stuff, people used to have accidents all the time. I've been in work and women had accidents, and they'll take their jacket or something and tie around them, and then they'll ask for permission to go home. Some people even have health, like that is like a health issue, with some people. So, like, I don't even know. I think they may have saw a Fruit of the Loom thing. I still, don't have any idea, when thinking about it, what, they could have been talking about. But I'm just saying that, like, our worst case scenario, like people should have pulled me to the side and said, because, like, then I would have went and took care of that. I would have went and took care of that. That's like nothing, that's a normal thing to do. But, I wasn't on my period. And that's the only thing I could think is that, like I still had some of that dye on some of my white things, my t-shirts or something. And they saw the little stuff from my the little dye on my t-shirts. Because when I saw it, I was like, where did this come from? And then I had to figure it out. Because it was like all on a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of t-shirts, and all of them were new, brand new out the pack. So, I figured that out for myself. And also, like, this one is to Bless. I understand a lot, like, I've always been real nice to Bless. Like, I used to call her Sniper Watkins. I've been a moderator. We were both moderators on Wiley channel. I was a moderator on her channel. I've always been nice. I've been nice to everybody in Tscc. And, I always thought of her as like a wise, older lady. So, I had expectations, and maybe that's my fault. But when the whole situation that happened, like with me and VS, like I expected her to tell VS that, she was wrong, that she went wrong. And even after, and then, so even after, she didn't, and even after the Mess Express, like, like where they were saying all those ugly things about me, I understood that what kind of position, she sort of felt like she was in, just like with Lady Nika. I understood what kind of position the Lady Nika sort of felt like she was in. But see, I don't do that though. I'm not gonna go with the flow. We're gonna argue, like she'll just have to follow. She would have just had to fall out with me. She would have just had, because I would have stand my ground. Just like with Rico. Me and Rico made peace. Rico was really sort of at peace with VS after she gave him a ride. So when they did the Mess Express, I had no reason to go in on Rico, and I wasn't gonna go in on Rico. Once I make peace with you, once I know everything is okay, if you don't do anything to me or disrespectful like to her after that, then I don't have any reason to go in on you. I know how to forgive, and let go. Just like the situation with Seven and I think Lady Snoop, we had to have a conversation because she thought that I was going against her or whatever, when Pyro was on. And I was like, nah, first of all, we all know Pyro is a player, and I don't like to see any woman. I don't like to see any man that, just misuses any women, because I always think of my sisters, my cousins, and, my niece, so like he was sitting there like he was innocent and, and acting like he hadn't done anything. And then he was using respectful terms. So, like I, wasn't trying to be ugly, and I was just making comments about the things, that he was saying, or things that I had heard, like, why is he in his truck or van? Because I heard that he was homeless. Like, answer some of those or clear up some of those misconceptions. But I, under no circumstances, was going to go at 7 stars, because I didn't dox 7 stars. Like somebody told me that they thought that I helped VS dock 7 stars. I didn't dock 7 stars. I didn't dock 7 stars, and um the information the information that I looked up was public information. When they put out 7 stars story, I felt so compassionate, but because I started just imagining what it would be like to live like that, to if I had grown up like that, so. And then, like when they talked about her sister and how her sister's murder was solved, and they also in that police report had her brother and her brother's name. So I started looking up what went on with her brother, and I found the news clip of Kenneth Gridiron Sr., because her brother name was Kenneth Gridiron Jr., and the father was Kenneth Gridiron Sr., and he was trying to get the case opened up and solved. And so, my whole thing was like, you can't stop VS from doing anything, but, my whole thing was, if you're going to do an interview him, Kenneth Gridiron Sr., and let's make this more about trying to get justice for Kenneth Gridiron Jr., Kenneth Gridiron Jr. Because, like I said, now I worked over there. I was over there with Fact Check TV, and that's what we did, and that's what we did over there. And so when I saw this, I immediately zoned into that lane, into that mode. So I wanted to go about trying to get some justice for Kenneth Gridiron Jr. So the things that so I sent her the video of where Kenneth was saying that he was trying to the father was trying to get justice. And I sent her the report, because I found the public record police report of Kenneth Gridiron Jr. Okay, and anything after that, like it was one time she asked me to go on her page or something and send her some other stuff, and this was way after she had already put it out. So no, I've never, I didn't dox her, I didn't send her anything, like that, other than stuff that she already had. It was one time she was like, go on the page, and I want you to go. She called me. She said, I want you to go and send me some pictures and stuff. And so I sent them to her. But this was way after she had already put this information out. And I ain't had nothing to do with I didn't have nothing to do with no doxing or nothing of any of that. So, but basically back to the point, all I was doing, and I had to clear that up too. I didn't help VS Docs 7. Okay. And so like I felt so compassionate, for 7, because like I looked at if I had grown up like that, or if I had gone through that, and like in some ways, I understand, like why sometimes she does some of the negative things that she does. And because I did a whole live about it, and I was like, like I just wanted her to find, just like with VS, I want her to find healing, and I even, when we were interviewing Maurice and her brother, I kept pushing for family healing and family unity. Even in one of my the video dealing with 7, her brother came in there, Tank or whatever. And I said, well, if we could forgive Maurice, I know we could forgive 7, because I wanted, to promote unity, for all of them, really. So when I say something, if once like I apologize, and once I came to peace with 7, that I mean it. I don't backtrack, or I don't go back on my word. As long as she doesn't do anything specifically to me, I'm not going to do anything to her, and she hasn't done anything to me, so I'm not going to do anything to her. So I wasn't going to go in on 7. I wasn't going, and then like I said, if something, something's going to affect somebody psychologically, somebody's bothered by something psychologically, I would not use that, because I would feel like I'm damaging that person. Now, if I go at somebody, I'd rather go at somebody maybe with a nickname, maybe with with a little nickname, light nickname, like they had QI critical stinky. That didn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? That didn't bother me. That's just a little, that's just a little. It's certain things that it's just a little roast, a little tap, a little gag. But like trying to psychologically damage somebody, I don't believe in that, and I don't believe like that so many people, grown-ups in this sector, are doing it. And like I said, the only person that I really owe apology because I shot below the belt, and I even said it in the text and in the message, the post that I made, is Brianna Simone. And like I said, and that's just because she just kept bringing me up, and I never had said anything to her. I never, like, I don't know her, first of all. Like, I know of her from here, but like we've never had a conversation. She doesn't know anything about me to be talking about me like that. You would think that I was in a relationship with Brianna the way that Brianna used to bring me up. Brianna used to bring me up, like the conversation would not even be directed or geared toward me, and she would bring me up. And so, when that dark and lovely situation happened, and my name came up, and then Brianna called me leprechaun, I'm like, wait a minute, let me just show her that, like, I'm like, is she doing this because she think that I won't, I won't tap her back, or won't hit her back, I won't come back at her? Or I'm like, is she don't, like, why? I'm like, why does she keep doing this? So I said, okay. I said, like, and in the post I said, y'all know I don't normally like to hit below the belt, but this time, and I went below the belt, and that was to show her, look, I've never said anything negative to you or about you, but you keep bringing me up, so I'm a black. I'm going to show you that, yeah, I will, speak up. I can, and as well as you can find so many negative things to say about me, I can find so many more negative things to say about you. It was a method in the madness, but at the same time, she said that those things don't bother her, and I hope they don't. But at the same time, like I really didn't want to like hurt her like that. It's just that I'm just tired of her. Like, you get tired of people bringing you up and dragging you and stuff that you have nothing to do with, especially when you're trying to do something totally different, or you're trying to be an example of a whole different way. See, over here, I'm trying to like in the conscious community, we all collab. Like everybody, like for instance, if somebody is knowledgeable of one certain topic, then they'll go on, like they might be invited to a panel to speak on that topic or whatever. We collab all the time, and then even if people don't necessarily see eye to eye or get along, they still collab. They know how to be cordial. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have no fight or no negative stuff that goes on in the conscious community, but that's how the conscious community works. The sectors that I've been in, there are collaborations. Like, even when you look at a lot of the major channels, like the Star Report, or the Star Report, or somebody outside of this sector, they collab. They bring people on for interviews. That's journalism. Like in news or whatever, journalism, it's like you collaborate with people for stories, for information, for interviews, for things. Okay, so when out after the situation with VS, I looked at, okay, what do I want to do with this channel? And so, I was like, okay, I want, like, I want to make this more of a journalistic. I want to make this sort of like more of a journalistic type of channel where I cover like the things like spiritual. I like a variety of different topics, and I bring people on for interviews. I let people tell their story about different things. I had somebody on for breast cancer. I had somebody on. The whole reason why we started the L panel, was because we want to show people a different perspective than what I saw going around. And, for other lesbians, a safe place, just, for lesbians to feel like they can, say what they wanted to, or speak out, or ask questions, or where we could cover, topics that just deal with that. So, J. Dunn said she wanted to do it. And, like when I came into this sector, I was with, I came in pretty much, I supported Wiley, and I supported Miss Gina, Queen of Talk. So, I didn't really know anybody else outside of this, know anybody else, like outside of the sector before I became TSCC. So like once I got outside of TSCC, I didn't know like who was lesbian or who not, and then I didn't know who would be willing to speak and who won't, because everybody won't come on camera. Everyone, so Jay Dunn said she wanted to, and boom, come on, Jay Dunn. BB Nice, boom, come on, BB Nice, and then DC Kool-Aid, and then I wanted D Cop to do it. So I was working with what I got, and the thing that we were doing was collaborating. It was business, strictly business. Like me and Jay Dunn, we're cool, but we're not, friends. We don't talk on the phone. And then we agreed when we first talked. She was like, I don't want to be caught up into the VS situation. And then I was like, cool, I'm glad you said that, because I don't want, to have to deal with that. Now, a couple of times, the reason why I decided to discontinue those, is because I found that, it happened. And it happened, and so I was like, maybe this ain't gonna be a good idea, because like I had to say that my personal relationship with VS is totally different from YouTube. Like, and that's how I am. Whatever whatever she was over there doing, that's what she was over there doing. But me personally, I don't like, if I got something personal going on with somebody, I don't think it's for everybody. I'm not gonna let everybody in. I'm not gonna give you permission to get in. And then no given time, I've always said I still love and care for VS. And then I've defended her, yet like outside of like if somebody did bring up negative things and say negative things, I would even still defend her. So I've always made it clear with everybody that I still care, and that, that I still care, and that I wasn't her enemy. Even on the gentleman's panel, I'm not an enemy of VS. Like I've never, considered myself, I'm like, I'm like, I know how she is. And if so many people hadn't gotten involved in this situation, if so many people had not, like brought in so much negativity, then, like we probably would have been friends again. Like, a lot of people don't know that the night that I gave her the money, the night that, because I have credit unions, and credit unions won't let you transfer to Cash App. And I knew that like when she first initially asked me to send her the money, that's why I said, give me a couple of days, because I have to figure it out. Because every time I tried to donate to Cash App, it wouldn't allow it. So, I was trying to figure out, because so many people have Cash Apps, how to go about doing that. I used to, like I have, people, if they had PayPal, donate to PayPal or something. But anyway, the night with the money, right before, because right after this situation happened, like I didn't understand it. I didn't know why she did it. It bothered me, because it was embarrassing. And then I went over to, like, even after it happened, I never been through anything like this. Like I've been in relationships where, you get mad and somebody would say something crazy or whatever. But, this happened on air. And so it was embarrassing. So, at the same time, it's like what people don't know is I sort of, like I didn't call VS, because I was trying to figure out what was going on, and so my communication was with Lady Nika. And I used to ask Lady Nika, what is going on? Why is she doing me like this? What has happened? What has happened? And that's why I was disappointed in Lady Nika too, because, like, I just expected, that somebody tell her better or whatever. But the night that I actually gave her the money, VS and I, like we had talked and we had settled, I was like, let's just be friends. So she said that 7 Stars was over there, talking, like 7 Stars over there live now talking about. I said, all right. I said, let's just go live. And y'all know that was the night that me and her were both on there by herself. I wrote down a whole lot of stuff to say about her, because it's the thing about VS. More than anything, she was my friend. More than anything, we were friends, because like VS, I helped VS But VS helped me out a lot because I was in a certain place, when I first started becoming friends with VS, where, like I was still grieving. Cause like one time I brought up a situation about Miss Mullins, and that's what I meant. Miss Mullins showed me like that I saw from Miss Mullins. Miss Mullins made me look at me and see that I was still grieving, and a lot of decisions I was making was based on grieving. Um, and like we had just decided, we were gonna be friends. So I wrote out all of that stuff, and it was basically because Seven was over there, and I knew behind the scenes we could talk and we could work that out. So basically I came online, look, we care a lot about each other, and and I understand her, and so we were still, it was like that before that we were on the phone and we were going to be friends. So when we were online, it's like it went from friends to what you going to do about it, and then send me some money. So I didn't want to cause a scene, like I didn't want to cause a scene, and I was already going to send her the money previously. I was going to send her some money previously, and she got mad and said, don't worry about it. So don't worry about it. So I stopped, trying or whatever to send it to her. And she was like, you should have sent it to me anyway, but because like with VS, like a lot of times she used to say one thing and then mean another, and or do another, or it ended up being a whole different way. A lot of times it wasn't just, one time, it was a lot of times. Just like I didn't have no clue about when I was on camera in DC, I had no clue about me supposedly buying a ring and proposing. That was my first time, actually hearing that. And so I'm on camera. So I just play it off. I was like, oh, well, I just played it off, but I ain't had no clue about that. And then just like, with Wiley and the baby situation, when she called me and she was talking about having a baby with Wiley, I laughed because I had no clue about that. And, I'm like, is she joking? I thought she would, I'm like, is she joking? She joking. She joking. So I'm laughing. I'm sitting there like laughing because I didn't know them things. I didn't know them things. So, and I don't believe in embarrassing my friend, and I believe in handling a lot of things behind the scenes. So, like, whereas you might not have thought I'd address certain things, I did, but it was offline because I'm not that type to carry things out online. And, so when that situation, that's how I looked at it, like I'm like, cause she out, like a lot of times she used to do stuff, she had her ups and her downs. She had those swings going on. So a lot of times, she used to do that, and she'll do something, and then she'll come back and she'll apologize. So in that situation, I thought that would happen, but it just carried on and carried on. And what also was effective was I saw times where she wanted to like VS reached out to me a lot more than I reached out to her. Like for instance, after the split, we were speaking through Lady Nika. Then even after after the split, I might have texted her one time and she showed you. I said, be careful. I saw something, and I was like, be careful. I still care. Okay, boom. And then I didn't text her again until her birthday. When after I sent her the birthday gift, and I'm like, did you receive the gift? Because I had a feeling, because I looked the address up and I had a feeling that it might be the wrong address, but I already had a backup plan just in case. So I wanted to know. And that's when I started watching her, because I wasn't watching VS religiously like that. It was like I'll go in, every night, like somebody would tell me that, she said something or something. I go in and check it out or whatever later after. But like in the lives and stuff, a lot of times I wasn't in her lives, and I used to see where she used to say, well, I know QI is in here, QI, and call me my real name and everything, but I wasn't there, because I don't like to hear. I have to, first of all, it's hard enough for me being a 24-hour, 7-day a week caregiver. It's hard to, like, sometimes, like my grandma, sometimes she's at peace, but sometimes, she has episodes, and I have to keep my patience and my energy good for that, and good to be able to make it through until you, and at the same time make it through, and like make these plans to get back to my life, get back to my business, get back to what I was doing. And I also have to communicate with my family. I have a lot of responsibilities, so I have to keep my energy, together. So, like, I wasn't listening to, that, because I don't need that. And a lot of times that's why I tune out of YouTube. And I would go to Lipstick Alley and get some updates and stuff, because, it's like, I got to choose. I'm gonna choose what I watch. I'm gonna choose if I want to watch it or not, and then at least I know what has gone on. Because this, like, y'all done made this like the streets. It's like you got to know your surroundings and what goes on. You might go up in somebody's chat and they done got into it, and you might say hello, and they be like, "What you doing in here?" They might jump on you. So you got to be, familiar with your surroundings in this sector. So pretty much it was a lot of things that, like, that didn't play out. But like I said, I'm not the type of person that is going to come online and talk about it. Like, even after that, people were like, "Why aren't you going at VS? Why aren't you going at VS?" Because really all I was waiting for was VS to realize that she was wrong, but she was so busy trying to be tough or making, impression to you all, to the audience, to her audience, and stuff like that. That, she did, like, it was several times I saw her, she wanted to apologize or whatever. But, she, like, her audience and the opinion of her audience, like, was before me. And that's why, like, it's been several attempts, like, when she tried to get me to come on the Mess Express reunion, that I didn't just admit. I didn't, first of all, I didn't really know I didn't watch the live. I didn't even know she called. I didn't even know she called until later, till, like, after somebody, like, really, even after they said that, I never checked my phone. And then I checked my phone, and and saw where there was a missed call from her. But I wouldn't have agreed to come back over there like that, because the one thing that I wanted was Brianna, Blessed, and Lady Nika, and Bayliss over there lying her butt off. And I'm about to cover that, lying her butt off. Because I wanted them to stop talking bad, and then I wanted, because you gonna respect me. Like, it's gonna be a level of respect. I'm not coming back over here being mistreated. And then these people don't know me. Some of them younger than me and stuff, and they're saying all kinds of stuff like they know me and don't know nothing about me. But Bayliss know darn well. First of all, I ain't even tried to smoke no weed. I'm friendly. When I'm the type of person, I can meet anybody. The people at the front desk, like, they were cool. We were cool. They like, hey, they like, we talked about everything. That's how I am. When I meet people, it's like, like, I meet people just like half the stuff y'all on here and the impressions that y'all trying to make about me in real life, they wouldn't go for it. They'll never get it, because I'm not like that. I'm a good person. You might want to say I wear my heart on my sleeve, because I'm a caring person. Just like what I'm doing for my grandma. Look at the rest of my family members. I shouldn't have to, her daughter, my aunt, I shouldn't have to do certain things. And I got in this situation just by stepping up automatically to the plate. And that's how I am. Just like even seven, I don't, I'm this person. I care about our people. I care about people. And like, I'm the type of person, I want world peace and the world to be a better place. So, I wasn't going back over there, like that. It was going to have to be a understanding. But even like in terms, I wasn't worried about, like, with Fyebabe. I've always been clear with Fyebabe. I appreciate still to this day what Fyebabe did for me, and that's how I am. And I told Fyebabe, I said, because I thought about going to Fyecation. Because it sounds good, the boat and everything, it sounded like it was going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be about, I'm going to want a vacation about then. So that sounds like a great vacation. So I told Fyebabe, I said, I'm thinking about coming to Fyecation. I said, but I just don't want any drama. I don't want any of this drama or anything to follow. And I said that, yes, I will be VS's friend again, when she learns how to treat me. So I've never been unclear with Fyebabe. And the other night when I made that live, I was not trying to blame anyone. I was trying to simply show how we all contribute to triggers. If somebody tells, if like somebody got mad at VS and they told her, I ain't gonna call no names this time. If somebody got mad at VS and they told her, your mom is the reason, your mom let your brother molest you, and then she turns around and does something foul, well, she turns around and does something just as foul, then what you said to her hurt her just as much as what she did to you hurt you. So y'all both responsible. Y'all both contributed. You can't diminish her pain and say your pain is greater. You have to acknowledge what you also did. Just like with the pyro situation, they were both wrong. Don't excuse and see in this sector, y'all bad, like the double standard or something. No, we can't resolve it if we keep going off of double standards just because we like or dislike a person. We have to acknowledge right and wrong is right and wrong. So if they both wrong, they both wrong. We all make mistakes. We all do some crazy stuff sometimes, just like I said with Brianna. Looking at it, I don't feel proud of what I did, but at the same time, it's like, I'm like, she sits over there and says and all that stuff to me, and all that stuff about me, and she don't even know me. We've never had a over the phone conversation. We've never, I supported her in her chat or whatever, but she doesn't know me like that to be saying all those things. So I came on here because I really want to clear some things up. And with Blessed, I also want to say, like, I reached out to Blessed. Okay, I panicked when I hadn't been online in a minute. So I went to Fyebabe's channel because, like, I had family in town. I'm sweating a little bit. I should have turned the fan on or, or the air. Well, anyways, I'll wait. But anyways, I went over to Fyebabe channel and I saw where Fyebabe had up VS is on the run, and I saw the title, and it was VS is on the run and what you call. And so I clicked in and I saw what she had showed the report, and I panicked. First thing I started thinking about was, I hope this girl is not actually, thinking she can run from the police. Then I started thinking, like about her running and the police finding her, or, people were saying she was in some other location or she was in a house or something. I panicked, because I was like all I could see was, her acting irrationally and, like the cops, like shooting her or her children. So I immediately, I went to my phone, I texted her and I was like, I was just like, please be careful. And then I thought about it. I was like, then I texted her again. I was like, I hope your mom is on the way. It might be easier if you turn yourself in. And then I was like, look, after I found out she was arrested, like through this situation, I'm going, I want to, be there for her, I'm the type that wasn't that serious to not put everything aside and be there for somebody. Sometimes it's like you have to put stuff to the side and you have to say, you have to go and be there for somebody, because I would have never been able to live with myself if I hadn't. I wouldn't be able to live with myself because it's not that serious. And then, I don't like that situation, and she does not deserve that. Now, I ain't saying she innocent. I ain't saying she ain't never did nothing. I'm saying she nor her children deserve that. A lot of you could easily be in that situation as well. And I would say the same thing. If that was somebody else instead of her, I would say the same thing. You don't deserve it. Like, son, you don't deserve it. So, I mean, it's just a lot of but people, like, just because I spoke out, people are, oh, you obsessed. I don't like, like since VS birthday, and basically that's in terms of replying to something. Just like replying to when she texted me and told me to apologize to Brianna. I replied back. Or just like, in terms of her birthday gift, trying to, get the P.O. box to send her some flowers instead. You know, that's the most that I have, like I have communicated you with her, or if it dealt with something dealing with something that she said or did on here. Instead of me like immediately going live, I try to handle the situation behind the scene. And then, I noticed what she was gonna show y'all anyways. And I mean, and I don't have I don't have anything to hide. I never had anything, to hide. But it's not like y'all like obsessed and all kinds of crap. First of all, let me just make this one little point clear here. From beginning, me and V, I've like said this on multiple different lives, that one of the things that always sort of made me skeptical about being, I feel like I made a mistake by being intimate with VS. I felt like I should have kept it in a friendship mode, because I had always been skeptical about the fact that like, first of all, she was bisexual, and the fact that like she had never really been in a relationship with a woman. So a lot of the stuff that VS did and said over there was that in a result of her not ever being in a relationship with a woman, not actually living the lifestyle of a lesbian, not actually knowing how, things really go. So that's how I took that. That's why a lot of the stuff I really just didn't get personal. But I was thinking that wherever she was getting her information, they were telling her wrong. Whoever, wherever that she was getting her information, because look, just like she was like, she had a problem with her truck. And they were saying, like, she was like, why didn't you, I told you my mom was paying for my truck. Why didn't you just offer to pay? We had only like really been, you know, intimate, or intimate for 3 months. It takes 6 months to just like know if you're gonna be real serious about this person or not. But that was too short of a span, and nobody told her for the things that she was expecting me to do. That was too short of. Now then, if I was the type of person that did all that, oh, let me pay for your truck, oh, let me go spend $1,000 for this, oh, then you could say I was obsessed. But it's not like, I would, if she needed it, she asked me for it. If I had it, I would try to do it for her. Just like I would expect her to do it, just like my friends, my sister, whatever. That's how it is. But like it was like, things, like people were trying to make it seem like it was supposed to be more advanced or further ahead than it was in terms of our timing. We were still in a get to know you process, but the problem was online, and the problem was it was a lot of things, a lot of problems. But like I said, one of the mistakes I feel like I made is I should have kept it in a friendship thing, and I'm not went with my temptations and got intimate. But see, that's blessed. When I called you and asked you, like I said, I panicked. So when I called you and I asked you, like, I was just trying to figure out where to send some money. So I asked you 2 questions. I didn't go all off into no details. And for you to turn around and make a live and make it seem like I was a part of, trying to, like, I was trying to get information from you to take to Fyebabe. No. In fact, like, I don't hate Fyebabe or anything like that, but I'm disappointed that people, because this case right here has nothing to do with whatever else went on YouTube. And for people to have called up there like that, I'm disappointed in that. I am. But just like I know I can't tell, like I can't tell VS, not to hate Fyebabe, and I can't tell Fyebabe not to hate VS, and that's why when I wrote, I said I will be friends. I always let but I'm not gonna go against you. I'm not gonna. If I do, I'm just assuring you that I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna hate on you or nothing like that. And that live stream that I did last time, like I said, I wasn't trying to blame nobody. I was trying to keep it as general as possible and point out the mental health aspect of how things have been playing out on YouTube. And not just, VS, a lot of people, and a lot of people on YouTube are addicted. VS have become addicted. A lot of people are addicted. I like, even sometimes just the subscribers are addicted to this drama, addicted to this stuff. It's an addiction, and it's a dangerous addiction. It's like people, we're in a whole war. Some people in this sector probably don't even know we're in a whole war, or the details of the war, what's going on, because they're so busy trying to keep up what's going on YouTube. Addiction. There's a lot of people that are addicted. It's a dangerous thing, to social media. And some people are addicted to the point where they start to push they don't see anything else but social media, to the point where it's like they have withdrawals without social media. That's why I unplug, I untune, I meditate. Because sometimes I could come on here, and when I noticed, like, that's why I left the conscious community, because I noticed that I was getting too worked up, like I would get too emotional. I end up being angry, or something behind something so simple. So, I left the conscious community because, I didn't want that. I got tired. What used to be fun, became emotional. So I came over here, and I thought that, I just sort of ran across these people, ran across these things. And, so I'm just searching and searching, just for, other people to watch, other people to, and I thought it would be different. But like one thing that, like I unplug. One thing, you got to unplug. Because this is not reality. This is not real life. Some people are not properly taking care of their kids. There's a lot of people not properly taking care of their kids. There's a lot of people who, like are delinquent in their life responsibilities because of YouTube. So more than just VS, there's a lot of content creators, there's a lot of people that need some help when it comes down to YouTube, because they have an addiction. They need to pull away. So, we got to understand. And then y'all are so invested or involved, because just like I'm saying, in order for me to have to come on here and tell somebody that my womb, my vajayjay is not big enough for a fist, does not say anything about me. It says something about you. Y'all are carrying this stuff. Y'all are so serious. Y'all are so invested. And then it has become gang, bang, bang. And then it has become so competitive. Like most of the stuff I'm saying about, like, the people that I was cool with in Tscc, Bayliss. Bayliss came back. Like, okay, when we came back from DC, I talked to Bayliss on the phone like 2 times, maybe 3 times. And both of us was saying, oh, you cool as a fan. You cool as a fan. I enjoyed it. I like Bayliss. Even when VS was in the chat, when VS was going in on Bayliss and Cynthia R, I didn't say anything bad about Bayliss and Cynthia R, because I liked them. I wanted VS to become friends. I tried to help them, help the situation mend and help resolve the situation. I never said anything bad, not one to VS period about Bayliss. Nor, like I said, I was disappointed when they shut down on accounts. But, in terms of saying something bad about Bayliss, no. Bayliss' personality, because, we were cool with each other. And for her to come back over to Tscc, and then all of a sudden, you talk about, she's right. We were outside smoking, and she's right. There was a guy, I forgot where he was from, but we had a long conversation, and we were just talking about general things. He was an interesting person. I meet people like that all the time. No, I did not want the guy, because I don't date men. And 2, no, I did not. He did mention something about, In fact, it was twice. One time I met a group of people and they were from the islands. And I think they were the ones who were smoking the weed. You know, they were the ones, they were out there smoking weed, was smoking cigarettes. And we had started talking about that he was pro-black. He was black conscious. He was Pan-African. So, you know, he was talking about Pan-African stuff that I knew about. And I was talking about American stuff, Black American Indian stuff. So we had a long conversation. But it wasn't nothing like we was trying to hook up. And I didn't want none of the weed. I don't smoke weed because I don't like the way that it makes me feel. So for Bayliss to come back and lie like that, and then the situation, you know, like, I mean, it was just a lot of stuff that was twisted and turned. It wasn't even, you know, like that. Like Bayliss said more things that were questionable to me. And as I see now, she was trying to get in my head. Like, you know, in my head, like she was like, oh, so me and VS would have never made it. I don't have nothing to do. Like, in fact, when I first met VS, like when we started talking and stuff, and then when we started going into the intimate part of you know, when we start sort of, you know, when it started to become more than friends, I told her several times, I was like, I don't want to mess up our friendship. And then I also asked her, I said, what is up with you and Bayliss? Because I had heard on site April say something about Bayliss like VS. And VS was like, Bayliss has a girlfriend. You know, Bayliss has a girlfriend. And so I'm like, okay, you know, it's cool, you know, but if it had been something up with VS and Bayliss, I wouldn't have, you know, I definitely wouldn't have done it. I'm not that type of person. If VS said today, like yesterday or something, that she wanted to date Bayliss, she wanted to get with Bayliss. I always liked Bayliss and wanted to get, just like when she did that videos, when she was doing those videos, when Bayliss was supposed to come on, I said, congratulations to VS and Bayliss. Because VS deserves to be happy. And, you know, I don't have to, I'm the type of person, I'm fine by myself. I have had plenty of relationships. If I really said, like right now, I really shouldn't be dealing with a relationship anyways, because I have a lot, you know, that I need to do and a lot going on right now. So, you know, friendship is good, but relationship right now might be a little bit more of an extra burden. Just like, you know, during that little time or whatever, it was a little bit more hectic, especially when we started doing the Mess Express. So, you know, I'm not this type of person. I'm a, you know, like whatever y'all want to say, I'm attractive in real life to women. Women come on to me. Women are attractive to me. I am good in bed. I don't have them kind of problems. And I like being by myself. You know, like I like being in a relationship, but I love a lot of times the solitude of being by myself because I get to do what I want. And I always have friends. And then I don't have, like, you know, when you're in a relationship, you're obligated. That's a certain lifestyle. When you're not in a relationship, it's like you can go wherever you want to, you can do whatever you want, and you don't have to explain anything to anybody. So I'm not that kind of person. I'm content with or without somebody. As Miss Pat, Wiley old moderator or whatever, you know, when I heard that she said that it's a good thing that VS don't QI don't live near VS, because she told a story about her niece and whatever, and the girl tried to kill her or whatever. I am not a murderer. I have I ain't never tried to kill none of my ex-girlfriends. I done had probably at least 10. Never tried to kill any of them. Because there was a time when I was a little player. But I've never tried to, and then I've never been abusive to any of them. I'm the one that always walk away. The most that the police, it was one incident where my ex tried to, you know, my ex was mad because I didn't want to get back with her. And, you know, I ended up getting arrested and going to jail for like 4 days. And that wasn't for no domestic violence. Just because when the police told me to get out the truck, you know, I was ready to go home and go to sleep and get ready to go to work the next morning. and I had been drinking. I was like, get out the truck for what? And then the next thing I know, they had dragged me out, flipped me over, and put me in handcuffs. And she was like, you gonna get out. You gonna get out. And then we ended up getting back together after then. And I had to do that so I can get I had to do that. 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 But like in that domestic, the 30 days, that ain't me. Like if it's real, I don't know if they're making it up or not, but it's not me. They got somebody else information over there they telling about. But you know, like that's what I came on here. Like a lot of this stuff is not me. You know, like I'm my own unique person. I'm a non-conformist. Like I like the fact that I'm not like any other stud. I'm not like any other person. I'm a non-conformist. I'm an artist. I'm a free soul, a free spirit, and a free being. And I'm spiritual. So I define myself by myself, not by a category or not by a definition. I am me. I'm being me. If y'all get it, I'm not a robot. I'm being me. So I don't want to fit into, and I like who I am. I like that I'm different. I like that I think different. I like who I am. I even like to dress different. I'm an artist. We're expressive. So none of this stuff, you know, like is even me. And I heard people, you know, like after, you know, my client was like, you're nothing like, you know, you appear to be on YouTube. I felt like I had to address it because I'm like, okay, so because I don't come out and address it, maybe these people believe that. Or because I really don't, because I haven't wanted to focus on this. I want to get outside of this sector. I don't mean that I want to be bigger than this sector. And you can't be bigger than this sector if you're constantly covering content that deals with the drama. Like notice a lot of the bigger, like I got plans, I got things that I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to do something, like since I got serious about this, I'm trying to get serious about it. I'm like, I might as well do all that I can do with it. So I'm looking, I got, you know, big goals. I'm not looking at small goals. I don't care about instant clicks and views. I don't care. I'm looking at longevity. That's why I know you got to collab. I know you got to get along. I know what, like some of the videos on my page, I got to, you know, I'm going to hide them. Like, I don't think anything is bad on my page because I haven't really like just been roasting and I haven't really been, you know, beefing or anything other than I've only been explaining like this. So I don't really feel like this would be a bad video, but even some of these things, I'm going to hide them because, you know, like, just say you get ready to interview like somebody big and they see this kind of drama on your channel, they're not going to want to deal with you. And I want to start bringing in some interviews of, you know, some politicians, some interviews of, you know, like I want to, you know, start doing some bigger things. And so I'm gradually trying to build myself up to that. And I can't do that with all of this. And so that's why I decided to just come on out and address, you know, like a lot of the things. I could pick up my call log from both of my phones right now, and I can show you where like a lot of the phone, like the transmissions that is not like what y'all think between me and VS. You know, like I haven't been calling and all that kind of stuff. You know, I've been letting her come. Like, I missed her. I missed like our friendship. I missed a lot, but I had to let her come to her own terms. You have to let people come to their own terms on some stuff. Even whether she was right or wrong, you know, like the fact that she was wrong, I was going to let her come to her own terms with that. Because if you force it, then it ain't real. But if they come to their own terms, then it's real and it'll stay. You know, so like I said, and then I think because of the misconception that people have, that's why a lot of times when I say something or whatever, y'all taking it a totally different way because y'all are looking at me as this one person that I'm not. So you're taking things that I say as this one person when actually it's not that way. Just like the live stream that I did the other day. You know, basically, it was really a live stream about unity, and it was really a live stream about we need to end this, you know, like in this sector, because it's just getting dangerous in this sector. And this sector, first of all, No new people are really going to want to come in. And so this sector is not going to grow. And then, believe it or not, this is not like when some it gets worse and worse by the moment. A lot of this drama had happening 3 years ago since the T.S. Madison and Kaya situation. And look, it hasn't stopped. It spiraled out. And it's the fact that we're all grown ups. When are we gonna learn how to, somebody gonna be big enough to say, look, I apologize, or look, let's agree to disagree, to stop the drama. It's like people are still mad, and a lot of this stuff is not that serious. Just like 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 stuff that like VS did, I could get over that. Like I said, this situation, and I've never like been mad, about that. I just wasn't gonna keep going through it. I wasn't gonna keep, like I want, no, you're not gonna do me like that. Thank you. But look, and to all my real subscribers that come for what I talk about, I'm gonna bring it back. Like I gotta I'm waiting on my equipment, and then I'm gonna start doing some different things, and I had to take a break. Like I said, sometimes I try to take a break. Sometimes I try to keep my energy together. If my energy's not together, or if I come on here and I find that every time I come on here I'm getting upset about something, or something is just down, making me feel sad or down, then I try not to come on here for that, because my energy, my spirit, my health is more important than coming on here like that. And so to my real subscribers and the people who really support me for me, I love y'all. And like I'm always saying, peace, love, and light. And I hope I addressed because I put I addressed blessed. Oh, blessed. I'm not on no hate team. I ain't never been on no hate team. Anywhere that I go, people know I still care about VS. Now I can't help how other people feel about VS, but it's only two. It's either Tscc or everybody else. So it's like you have to, like I've been feeling good being able to go in anybody chat that I wanted to, and it's not like you have to just necessarily be alive with them. I've been feeling like in the conscious community, you could not like somebody and you could go in their chat. You could go, you can not like what somebody speaks about, and you can go in their chat. So I like being able to go where I wanted to go. I like being able to network, I like being able to collab. I like being able to get along with people. And so I ain't been over here like out flip-flopping and hate teaming. I ain't been doing that. I make it clear to anybody that I deal with that no, that's personal, and I don't feel that way. You're not going to make me feel that way. And like like if I don't allow, I never let nobody just really like disrespect VS in front of me. I can't dictate what they do on their platform, but like not on mine. So for you to run that narrative like that, like bless, come on now. Come on now. Like if anybody can't see that I actually really care for VS, that yes, VS did a lot for me, but I also did a lot for VS. Like in a lot of ways, VS was good for me in some search, until, little things. And I was also good for VS. So if you can't see that, and you can't see that, you can't see that, then, like, especially being Tscc, then something is wrong. Something wrong with you. And you all, and to take away somebody's support system for being jealous, envious, or wanting to be closer to VS was unfair to VS. And that's what I mean. If y'all saw me helping to balance her out. If y'all saw me helping to balance out the mess express, Brianna. Because Brianna was like, I just want you to be. No, I was good cop. My job was to balance it out, to turn the mess into a message. So, like, if y'all saw that, then, like to throw, like, what she did was what she did. But I'm saying y'all did extra. A lot of y'all did extra. A lot of y'all don't know me. Y'all was speaking about me nastily and bad. And y'all know I'm not that. Y'all know I'm not that. Because I've never been mean to any of y'all. I never been mean to Bayliss. Like I talked to her on the phone. I'm trying to still get them to rekindle their friendship. And for her to turn around and then just, like what happened, Bayliss? What happened between then and now? Because you knew all this happened while we was there. But when I got home, I'm on the phone with you and we cool. So what happened? I'm not faking phony like that. I can't. Like just like I said, I'm not. Long as Seven don't do nothing to me, I ain't gonna do nothing to Seven because we made peace. Long as Rico cool with me, I'm not. We made peace. I'm not. I'm real. Fyebabe, I made peace. I'm real. I can't do that. I can't hate on nobody. I can't sit there and try to cause a divide. I can't that's just not. I want to see. I was glad for everybody that was supporting her. I liked when we were a team and we were doing good. Like when we came back from DC, I thought we were getting ready to go to the next level. So I don't just get with that. I don't get with that. And like that thing with Bless the other day, it bothered me. And I had to speak out about it because I'm not stalking, harassing. Like I don't know what it is that y'all trying to say or how y'all, because I know like I said, I don't listen to her. So it ends up coming to me from like subscribers and from comment sections and stuff like that. That's how I found out about a lot of stuff, just like the ice cream. Somebody came in here and said, "Are you still feeding your grandma ice cream?" Just like somebody in my comment section was like, and I'm like, no. So I was like, let me just, which I shouldn't have to, but I was like, let me just go ahead and address this. Because when I come back on here next time, I want to have better energy. I don't want to have to, this is not me. I don't like dealing with this, type of stuff. I like to get along with people. And when I come back on here, I want to be able to cover content and I want to be able to be at peace, my spiritual being, because I'm a spiritual being and I got to go meditate now to get my energy back right. But I'm gonna play this music, and I hope I've covered everything. If I haven't, I'll just have to come back on. But I'm ready to get in my peace mode. I'm ready to meditate, and go play with my puppy a little bit, and just get back into my loving mode. And like I said, to all my subscribers, they really rock with me, really know me, really know I have a good heart, really know I'm none of these things that people say. I love y'all. Keep supporting me, and I'm gonna keep supporting you. And I'm gonna play this little music, and I want to say love, peace, and hair grease. And here we go. Yes, supporting VS, free VS.